Okay, I'm going to do my best to narrate this. I'm going to share with you 7 days worth, and each day is going to include blood pressure and pulse, the record of my weight, and my body composition according to the Renfo body composition scale. Now, it takes me a little bit to figure out how to edit everything together, so bear with me. The way that this part looks with the Renfo scale, that will change as the week goes on because it took me a little bit to get it figured out. But then once I'm done with the body composition stuff, then it will show what my food choices were for that day. And so I know it's probably a little weird to have somebody kind of narrating in the background while all of this is just playing through. But I figured I didn't really necessarily need to go into specific detail on every little thing. But instead just to kind of share with you a little bit about my journey while you kind of observe some of these other things in the background. So I have struggled probably since I was 7 years old with food addiction, and that struggle has been a very difficult part of my life, namely because a lot of people don't really understand the concept of food addiction. They understand drug addiction and alcohol addiction, but in terms of food addiction, they don't really understand. And so it's been kind of a lonely journey, and I have often felt that the choices that I need to make, the changes that I need to make, are so foreign to people that it seems extreme to them. And so these last several years, I have been on a journey towards trying to change to a plant-based diet. And it has been really, really challenging. I'm not going to lie. It has been really difficult. And though I have made a lot of progress, I've not really overcome the food addiction, and I've not really committed to the plant-based diet. So this week, you're getting an idea of what I eat on a regular basis. If I were to not withhold anything that I desired from myself, this is what I would eat. The food list at the end of each day, those are the things that I wanted throughout that week. And some of those things are healthy, and some of those things are not healthy. Some of those things are plant-based, and some of those things are animal-based. And so as I recorded all those things, I began to see this pattern that everything that was not plant-based, I had a problem stopping. I could not stop myself. I had to eat them until I just could not put anything more into my body. And that is a problem. In addition to that, I am a Christian, which means that I follow Christ and that I try to live within the loving guidelines that are provided for me in the Bible. And this week has really brought it to the forefront that I am a glutton. And that is food addiction. That is what food addiction means. It means that you are a glutton. And the Bible gives some very strong cautions against those who devour all that they have. And I don't want to be that person that devours all that I have. And I don't want to be that person in terms of food, and I don't want to be that person in terms of finances either. So I decided it's time to get real with this. Instead of pretending like this problem doesn't exist, it's time to deal with this problem head on. And so the main thing that I want to do is to start engaging some accountability. I want to put out there what's really going on instead of trying to be isolated. The isolation hasn't worked for me. And I'm single, I don't have children, And so it can be really easy for me to just stay hidden and not be accountable for the changes that God has called me to make in my life. And so by starting this YouTube channel and sharing with you the healthy recipes that I'm trying, and also sharing with you my struggle and what really is going on, putting up the biometrics that are happening, and sharing with you my food intake, I'm hoping that that will provide some accountability for me. Now, please be gentle in the comments, because I really do need accountability, but I need it to be gentle accountability. Harsh accountability is not going to be helpful to me. So I appreciate your support and your help. And please do stick to plant-based support, because I've tried everything else. I have tried ketogenic things. I've tried the low carb stuff. None of that works. The only thing that helps me actually lose weight is sticking to plants. So if you would please honor that, I would be so grateful for your support. And so I have given you an entire week's worth of blood pressures and pulses and weights and biometric fluctuations. And then I've also included the food choices that I made that day. And it was not really easy to keep track of all those things, but nor was it really difficult. It was just kind of that mindset shift of, you're just going to have to do this, and you're going to have to be honest. You can't fudge it. But that being said, I did not measure any of the food that I ate. So you know what I ate, but you don't know how much I ate. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to focus on the choices that I made and not necessarily the quantities of those choices. So, to review week 1, the blood pressure wasn't that different. Dropped 8 points in the diastolic, but only 2 points in the systolic, and only 1 pulse point. I did gain some weight, 2.6 pounds, and I increased my BMI, and I increased my body fat percentage by 0.6% over a week. My fat-free body weight went down by 0.6 pounds. Subcutaneous fat went up, and visceral fat, that's the fat around your organs, that went up. I'm more dehydrated. My body water went down. My skeletal muscle went down, and my muscle mass went down. So that's not good. Thank God my bone mass stayed the same. My protein amount went down, and my BMR has gone down as well. So after sharing a week with you about how I would naturally eat on my own, withholding nothing, and the natural food addiction / gluttony that lives in me, the question might be, well, what's next? And so the very next thing for me will be to go on a potato fast. Now, there are a lot of people who will describe something like this as a potato-only diet, and I really want to get away from the connotation of a diet. What I'm really going for is a transformation that will encourage me to love simplicity, to learn contentment, and to draw closer to the Lord in regards to the food choices that I make. So I'm considering this a fast, and it will start with a day where it's just water fasting, with the exception of some nutritional supplements. And then it will move into another 13 days of potato fasting. And during that time, I will allow myself to season the potatoes, but no added fat, butter, oil, that kind of thing. And no added condiments, just seasoning. And that will carry on for 13 days. while I intentionally draw close to the Lord during those times where I'm feeling dissatisfaction and where I need that extra strength to continue going. So that is what is next, and I will be taking you guys along with me on this journey, and Lord willing, I will step into the food choices that God has called me to, and in the process I will know more about Him and draw closer to Him through this whole thing, because ultimately what I really want is for my life to be pleasing to Him. Whether I eat or drink, I want to do all for His glory. So thank you for joining me for this video. I hope that it was informative and helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.